authorities in Nigeria know the names and locations of individuals responsible for insecurity across the country. In an interview aired today on DRTV Nigeria, the cleric said government officials possess intelligence on those behind violent attacks but have chosen dialogue alongside military actions. Gumi, a former army captain, said he has visited armed groups in remote camps since 2021 to negotiate the release of hostages and encourage fighters to surrender. He claimed that more than 600 fighters have laid down their arms through this engagement, arguing that killing leaders of groups such as Boko Haram can sometimes strengthen the organizations rather than weaken them. And his remarks have sparked intense debate online. Critics accuse him of sympathizing with criminal groups and question why authorities have not acted if such intelligence exists, while supporters say dialogue remains necessary as armed groups continue to control farmlands and carry out kidnapping in parts of the country. There has been no official response yet from defense authorities or the presidency.
The government knows every terrorist by name and by location. I don't go alone. I don't go to the terrorists alone. I call the police, I call the security, everybody. I will go to the MES or that place. In fact, when we went to one terrorist, I went with, even with women with me. Go to the bush. The thing is, you didn't see that before the camera was not concentrated on it. I don't
presidency. Well, this is, I mean, Gumi is always on the news for one thing or the other.
And for one thing or another, but I think from what he said here, he has a point. Gumi always have a point.
Yes.
Things that he says, but I mean, it's just the way he delivers his words.
Yes.
And the perception of some religious sects in Nigeria as one of those that are persecuting, constituting nuisance in the country, insurgency and the likes, has made people to see Gumi differently. Because according to world intervention when it comes to dealing with insurgency or even terrorism, we've seen that we've gone past the days where we have our territories taken over by insurgents or terrorists, where we have to deploy our troops, where we can fight them, we can recognize them, we can fish them out, or even deploy heavy ammunition against them. But now they are embedded in society, they are amongst ourselves, and their tactics are different from what we used to know. So we need to deploy different strategies to also ensure that we solve them. One of them is dialogue. But we've used dialogue time and again in this country, and we've seen that it is not it is not bearing any good fruit for us. We've seen people being kidnapped, negotiations have been had with them. We've even paid ransom for some of these kidnappers. We've heard that government have paid ransom, although the government have denied multiple times that they've not paid the ransom. And we see this negotiation continues, and time and again, these people continue to perpetrate these murderous activities that they continue to carry out in different parts of Nigeria, where virtually they've made nowhere safe in the country. But Gumi is also saying that there are people who are sponsoring this terrorism in Nigeria, and the government know them but they are not prosecuting them. We see the case of Malami, the former Attorney General of the Federation, now in court with his own son as well. And one of the cases brought against him, aside of the possession of firearm, was also the fact that he had the list of terrorist financiers in Nigeria, or he had a list of terrorist supporters or what have you, and he has failed to prosecute them. As the chief legal officer for the state, he has a responsibility to ensure that these people are prosecuted. So when we see that these people are protected because of certain interests from different parts of the country, and we saw the video as well of the National Security Advisor, who the person of Ribado, who said these are our brothers, we need to take care of them. But when we see our soldiers, our gallant officers who have paid the utmost price for the country, with their lives being killed in numbers every day, their barracks being attacked, And then you wonder, if you call these terrorists your brothers, that we need to negotiate with them, we need to talk to them about how we can find mutual peace, or even rehabilitate them back into the society. And this is what becomes the life of ordinary person that volunteer into the armed forces of the country. Then you have more people not interested in joining the military in the country, or the only reason most people will join because of the money, or if they are less employed. You would find less and less people who are interested in joining it because they want to defend the nation, or because they have a particular zeal for being a part of the Nigerian armed forces. So more people are joining because of stomach infrastructure. They need to feed themselves. They need to be able to do things for their own family. So we need to look at all of these things. How can we ensure that we locate these people? And that's where intelligence comes in. When we talked about sharing of intelligence within ourselves and our country and other partner countries in the world, it's not about people who are antagonizing government alone. It's not intelligence about people who are protesting. It's not intelligence about dissidents abroad. Intelligence should be about trying to find security. When the coup was supposed to happen in Nigeria, there was an intelligence. I mean, at the highest authority in the country, they had that intelligence to ensure that they were able to stop this from happening. For months, they denied there was anything like that. But after that, they've been able to tell them that this was going to happen. We had people arrested, or some people are even still being some people are still being on the run, trying to get them on in custody. So all of these issues must ensure that we push us further into a conversation that prioritize lives and properties of people, because at the end of the day, things cannot continue the way they are. Countries that are at war right now, they are not losing as much people as Nigeria is losing daily from insurgency.
You've said a lot, and if I want to be honest very quickly, I'll just say I think this is the kind of statement that needs to, force Nigerians to confront a very uncomfortable possibility, because what's, just like you said, what Gumi is saying is partially true. Let me use the word partially so it won't look like I'm completely saying it is true, but it's partially true, because the issue of insecurity is not simply about capacity. If we look at it, we are talking about, it may also be about the strategy and the political calculation that is not there, that is lacking, and that is a very different conversation if we want to have that. And we know that Gumi is not just speaking from the pulpit because he is a cleric. Gumi has been before he became an Islamic scholar in Kaduna, he was first captain in the Nigerian army. So, and his military background, given his military background, when he comes out to say something like this, we should look at that, what he's saying, because those words carry heavy weight, and because someone like that has been through a series of intelligence, has been with the intelligence agencies, and he knows how these people act and operate, and is essentially just suggesting that the state has more information that the public realizes. And what people do not know, or even if they know but they rarely talk about, is that most of this intelligence knowledge does not always translate into immediate action. We should also have that in mind. That's why I said it is partially, what he's saying is partially true, because security operations are often slowed by all of those insiders and call risk calculation. So we need to look at all of these things and put it in place, and we should not let public frustration become our own level of understanding and conclusion about things. We should also put things like this into consideration. But we need to move to the next story of